Hello again. The election in Slovakia has been followed by the installation of a prime minister who seems determined to get a grip on the problem of the army of bogus asylum seekers, which is now marching across Europe. Hungary has, for the last 8 years, taken an exceedingly robust stance on illegal immigration, and now Slovakia is following suit. This has galvanised into action various other nearby countries such as Poland, Austria and the Czech Republic, all of whom have started cracking down on their borders, stopping undocumented travellers and turning people back if they don't have passports or they look as though they're not genuine tourists. It has taken long enough, but finally Europe seems to be awakening to the existential threat to the identity of the continent posed by the countless millions of people from Africa and Asia who are determined to storm the frontiers and enter various countries illegally and uninvited to make their homes there. Nobody wishes to join in the EU scheme for sharing asylum seekers out fairly across the whole of Europe, and the crisis in Italy is instead being met by new restrictions on the French border to prevent those landing in Italy from getting into France. Poland has announced bluntly that they do not want to take in any more immigrants. This is all very heartening, of course, but the real question is whether these moves will actually be enough to discourage people from entering Europe illegally. There's certainly no sign yet of the numbers slowing down, quite the opposite. The reason is simple. Africa is falling into ever greater chaos, with military coups and civil wars in Central Africa and dreadful economic crises in the south. The war in Sudan is still raging, and this has displaced millions of people. Many of these people will head north across the Sahara and try to get on a ship heading for Europe. In Asia, many people wish to flee from Iran and Afghanistan, and a lot of people in Pakistan would rather live in Britain than their own country. The Pakistanis recently announced that they intend to expel more than 1.5 million Afghans from their country before the end of this month, and these are people who would literally rather go anywhere than back to their own country. Most of them will probably try and enter Europe. This is the backdrop to Suella Braverman's controversial speech on asylum seekers the other day. I don't suppose for a moment that she really cares in the least about this problem. After all, her own parents hopped from Africa to Europe in just the way that many people are trying to do now. But it is significant that she was able to speak in this way without being howled down. All the signs are that the public in this country would support strong measures to deter illegal immigration. Many people are puzzled that a landlocked country like Hungary is able to control immigration, but an island like Britain is seemingly unable to do so. It's certainly difficult to work out why that should be the case. There is a new mood in the air about illegal immigration and the waves of refugees heading this way from other continents, and this is now seen in all parts of Europe. If there were some concerted effort, it might just prove possible to do something about the problem of asylum seekers and refugees trying to force their way into the continent.